That looks so awesome right there. Just a Kraken coming out of the sea to trap your ship from escaping. You ain't going anywhere, buddy. Alrighty, so let's go over here and deal with the Kraken. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Abandoned Ship. I'm your host, the Birdman known as Falcon. This probably should be familiar to you. We checked this out a couple of months ago. This was, however, or at least back then, it was the press build. The only thing I could show you back then was just the combat portion of the game. Here today, the embargo has lifted. The game has hit early access on the 21st. I'll have all the information down below in case you want to pick this up for yourself. But with the embargo lifted, I could show you the story, overworld, quest, stuff like that. So I'm fairly excited about this. In case you're unfamiliar with this game, it's FTL with ships and sea, and a lot of Cthulhu type of mythos in there, Lovecraft, stuff like that. You'll see what I mean pretty soon. Let's get into the story. A wild chorus, the birth of a monster. In that moment, the final strand is cut. A burst of clarity. The horror of your recent existence dawns upon you. Escape is all you can think of. The tentacles flail wildly in the water. People drop to their knees, some through fear, others with adulation. Their god is manifest. You watch from your position of privilege on a private balcony. You notice your two bodyguards are distracted and enraptured. Strike them down. Flee this accursed place. Instinctively grabbing something, you smash it down on the head of the first guard. Shocked, surprise registers on the second before he too is down. You are unsure whether they are dead or unconscious. You feel a drip from your fingers. You look down at your improvised weapon, a small idol of your father. It is cracked and has cut your hand. You are drifting, but something inside snaps you back to reality. You have to move fast. The cells offer the safest route to freedom. You stride into the prison with fainted authority. No matter the place is unguarded. Their moment of triumph. Escaping alone would be futile, so you grab the keys from the guard room and approach the prisoners. Who will you unlock first? So this will be like the first couple of people you'll be using your ship. But I don't want to spoil anything, but just that's all I can tell you about that. So we have to select 3 if I'm right. So I'm gonna go with the Navigator. Because since we rock a 2 in navigation, aiming, fixing, and fighting, we could kind of be like a jack of all trades, but I want to have like an ideal person stuck in the Navigator position, so we'll have Pratt. We'll also pick up, where's my combat specialist? We'll go with a Green Badger. Let's go with, Jeroen. Worst situation comes to push, I could go ahead and fix stuff, so we'll skip Ari Lagi as my fixer for now. You and your new companions surge through the labyrinth passages, finally a door. Light seeps in through cracks in the frame. You close your eyes for a moment as the sea breeze brushes your face. Looking down the winding path ahead, you see that which you had hoped for, a ship at anchor. So, I like this right here. This reminds me so much of the Curious Expedition, when you're first picking out your party members to go into the ship or you're recruiting people. Like, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, Curious Expedition. Really fun roguelike game if you've ever checked that out. You should. It's really, really fun. Alright, so here we get to just position our people where we want them to go, right? So Navigator, you handle the helm. You Cannoneer, handle cannons. You Fighter, come over here really quickly and we'll get into the ship. We have to cut these ropes because right now we're tied up to the anchor, right? So we have to release ourselves, otherwise we can't set sail. So you, my friend, cut that off, and then you do what you gotta do. And we're set sail. So right now the first couple of fights should be very tutorialized, just to give you like an idea how it works out. But we'll skip a lot of it, I'll just give you like the high points. Dozens of furious cultists charge the jetty as you pull away, a high priest at their head. His scream reaches your ears and drips with scorn. Heed me, betrayer! Our father knows and sees you, always. You would never escape his embrace. He's a very angry guy. As he speaks, the other cultists disperse, no doubt to begin their pursuit on their own vessels. Here we go. And this will be the exploration map. So this we haven't seen before. Before I just showed you the combat, here is the actual one of the world maps anyway. So right now what we got to do is if we zoom on out. You're not letting me zoom on out yet? No, you're not. I have to explore first. Here we go. So this will be like the quote-unquote first area with different exits. We have to go down through the bottom one as you progress with the game, since this is still a tutorial. As you progress with the game, you'll have like different exits. All of them have different goals in order to escape, or at least open up the gate for you to continue. So here at the moment, I did see that we have some gold over here, which I will pick up. And I guess the moment right now is to escape this island, where apparently your father, the leader of this cult, and you're awakened now. You're apparently quote-unquote woken. And you no longer want to be part of that. But I guess eventually you might have to come back to it or something to get out of here, or escape their grasp for good. So the gate is locked. And if we come down over here, usually this will tell you like what you have to do in order to open up the gate. So for this one, since we're still in tutorial mode, we got to fight. Yes, I know all about this, so we'll first and foremost start off by manning the cannons. So I want my fighter, obviously, and myself over here. And then my fighter, you'll hang out. You still can't use that because they haven't taught us about it? Okay, well I'm going to keep them here because I'm going to be using some of the cannonballs to mess up their massed weapon reloading. So right now they're loading up the weapons. We're hanging out like over here. We could push our ship upwards by moving up to even ram and board them if we want to. If you have like a really boarding heavy party, we could do that. Again, very much like an FTL. But right now we're fine. So since we're ready to fire, I usually like to go for their weapons so that they stop shooting us and have to fix their weapons momentarily. So I'm going to aim right over here. And the same with you, right over here. And we have a hold break. Cool. So you take care of that. You're not really a fixer, but it'll have to do for now. And let's see. Crew special, yeah, I know all about that. Active pause, yeah, you got it. Thank you, game. Got it. I'm only doing this because I really want that free heal at the first area. So now we're going to close the gap here a little bit by getting close. And we might even do a ship ramp this time around. So here's the chain shot finally. So now you can hang out over here. And what this is specifically good for is if you have like a, say you're like a really ram heavy or a boarding party heavy party. And this, the enemies know that, so they kind of like continue going further and further back. They have more speed than you. You won't be able to get close to them, so if you mess up their sails with your chain shot, it'll make it so that they can't move, and you'll be able to close the gap a lot faster that way. Plus, it also keeps them busy fixing that, meanwhile, where you could focus on other parts of their ship, because they really put a lot of attention to the mast, so if you mess that up for them, they'll be really busy for a while. So, you see right there, we did, and that does really heavy damage. It's almost up to the reds already. So they're gonna have to stop whatever they're doing, imagine, pretty soon, to be like, hey, we gotta fix that. Alrighty, so let's see. Yes, I've done that already, game. I beat you to the punch, yeah. So, just because you can't see it, the sails are still there. It says that it's slowly so close now that we can't actually see it. I wish there was like a zoom out feature when you were like this, but there is not. So we'll aim for that yet again. And it's now in the red. It's completely depleted, so they can't go anywhere. Now this will be for the grape shot. This is going to be if you want to take down their dudes, which is really good if you mix it up with a mortar that does like time damage over, or at least damage over time. But we don't have a mortar just yet, but I'll cover that soon once we hopefully get one. Now, you want me to shoot the grape shot at them. I think we might bring them down before that even happens, but we'll see. More importantly, I want to actually do a ram. I'm not sure if we'll even get that chance right now, because it feels like we're about to knock them out. Oh, they've stopped taking damage already for the premise of the tutorial. Good. So this will be the grape shot, which is area of attack, so we could do something like that and just hit all three of them at once. Oh, that's very good. And we do have a hole break. Take care of that really quickly. And now we're going to charge. So once this fills up completely, you could charge, you could flee, or you could actually turn your ship around. The premise behind turning your ship around is that you might have like different weapons or different cannons over here that are better against certain type of enemies or ships. So maybe the cannons over here are different than the ones you have down here. So you might want to turn your ship around to focus on a specialty type of enemy, right? So we're filled up, so we're ready to charge now. So we'll charge, and don't make it easy for us, but whenever you're going to charge, you got to make sure that you brace for impact. If you don't brace for impact, your guys could go overboard, and if you do that, you need either a lifeboat to pull them out, or you have to save them yourself by using the winch or something. But it takes a while, obviously, so just make sure you always get that brace before you hit the ram, and you're good to go. You guys are still alive? That's really surprising to me. Get over here. I mean, you're only alive because of the tutorial purposes. There it is. One more shot should just about do. We could also board them at this point. Get over there, man! Attack! Oh, you saw one of their dudes went overboard. I was wondering why there was only like 2 of them. Yeah, one of their guys went overboard because we hit them and they weren't braced themselves too. And there it is. And obviously, if you don't bring the ship down completely, you'll get more rewards. So that's something to keep in mind too. Although it's a lot easier to just bring the ship down. So 22, yep. Get back over here and leave combat. Then open up the gate, and that's basically it for us here. Let's go forward. Now we're going to our very first jump spot here. And once you progress further, there'll be like different breakaways from this, so you'll be able to like either go up here, middle, down. Again, very FTL-like. I know I'm going to be saying FTL-like very often in this video, but that's literally what it is. You announce to the crew that you need to take stock and are not to be disturbed. In the captain's cabin, you find some clean clothes, most likely belonging to the poor previous occupant before the cult had their way with the ship. It feels good to finally be out of your flowing, ceremonial robes. You stow them neatly away, knowing they may yet have their use. And here we can kind of customize how we look like. So, let's be honest here, I'm a fairly pale guy. I'm not sure if I'm that pale, but I guess that'll do. What's my name? It's not the severed one, I'll tell you that much. It's gonna be Falcon 69, Captain Falcon 69 to you. And I am indeed a male, and that's basically all we're going for here. You emerge onto the deck and the crew snap to attention. We may have escaped, you begin, but we are not safe yet. We must make port, then go our separate ways. It's me they're after. You return to your cabin and slump onto a chair. Moments later, a strong undercurrent of exhaustion pulls you into a deep sleep. Still loved, and always in his thoughts, you were the first. But he knew something within you had changed. Thus you were marginalized, became a symbolic icon with no real power. You didn't care. Something in you was gaining strength. Little by little, the fog was clearing. And again, it's got that whole entire Lovecraft type of like under thing to it, which I love. So that's really, really cool. And we got Kraken fights as well. A sharp knock on your door snaps you awake. Moments later, you stride back onto the deck to issue commands. The Cult Fortress is far from inhabited lands. We'll need to navigate through open waters before we can find a port. So we need to apparently review my ship. This will be in order to set up like safe positions. Like, you know, if you want them to always come back to something, you could save positions over here. Where do you want to start off in combat? I normally start off over here and then move inwards later. And in terms of my safe positions, I want you on this gun, you here, and you're going to always hang out first with that one, and then we move you down here, and we'll save that, and we can load it up through here whenever you want to do that. So continue. Good? Everything fine? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And that's to change the position of the ship as we talked about earlier. Alrighty, so let's see here. We have to flee. We have to escape. Let's start looking around. Now these will be like certain areas of interest you're going to have to check out in order to open up the gates. So if you look over here, the only exit to this area is going to be through here. And in order to open that up, you have to check out a lot of these points of exploration. So one of them happens to be over here. This might have something to do with the cult, so we'll check it out now. An imposing cult fleet is spread wide across the waters. Are they searching for you or merely pursuing some other ominous errand? Either way, the closest ship changes course to intercept you, so we do have a fight here. Let's go for it. Alrighty. And this will be the first one where I don't think they're going to bother me, so we're good to go now. As you can see, they're closing in, and we're going up to our spot over here. So the first thing I'll be doing is aiming for the cannons as usual. You see those little small like black dots right there? They have ramming spikes on them. So if they ram into me, massive damage, which is probably the reason why they're getting close. So we might want to stay away from that because that would hurt a lot. So let's aim here. Aim there. We cannot, to my understanding, pre-aim the chain shot to that for some reason. It's got to be loaded first. So that one you could aim, but not that one. Which is a little bit upsetting to me, but, you know, whatever. It's ready to go now. Aim for it now. And again, if we bring those sails down, they wouldn't be able to like, get to us so fast, so that ram attack won't really bother us too much. I mean, this shouldn't be a hard fight anyway, but just in case you were further down in the game, and you see that, you might want to be really careful. Speaking of which, they did a lot of damage to my med area, so they don't want me healing for some reason. That's alright, I don't think we have to heal for this one. Alright, so we're hitting our shots. This is ready to go again. Let's hit through here. Good. And let's see how they're looking. They're up to that. They don't have any of the halifron. I've mentioned... Wow. They really don't want me to have a medkit area, huh? Go over there and fix that. I know you're not really a fixer, but whatever. I mentioned in passing the Halifron borders. They don't have any of those. Those guys could be really annoying, but we haven't seen any just yet. But what they'll do is that the Halifron will start in their ship, and they're like these sea creatures, very much like the deep ones, like, you know, Lovecraft, big surprise, right? They'll dive into the water and they'll come over to your ship, board you, and just be a complete pain in the backside. Especially if you don't have a party that's either big in numbers or are fighters. They could easily end your runs, to give you a hint here. Like, if you're not ready for them and, like, more of them board you than you actually have party members, sometimes even if you have the same amount of party members as the Halifront, but they're not fighters, you are gonna probably lose. Which is something that I hope they balance, because I don't feel like it's actually balanced yet. At least, not with my current build here. I'm not sure it's gonna be like a early access, because right now I'm playing like 2 days before the early access release. I'm not sure if when it comes out, to have like another patch or some sort of little small update. Let's see. They're almost down. Let's take care of that if we can. As a matter of fact, don't even take care of that. I think this alone should almost bring them down. And then we can focus on fixing after. Oh, they need one more shot. And this guy's taking forever because he's obviously not a fixer. But yeah, I'm not sure if the moment they hit early access on the 21st, which is 2 days from now, they'll have like another patch. Because right now, as I mentioned, the Halifron feel a little bit unfair. Like, if you're not ready for them, they'll just completely wreck your run. I've had like maybe a second map run that's going really good suddenly come to a halt just because I got boarded by Halifron on a random event. So yeah, maybe a little bit of balance in their checkout is what I would encourage. And we got 22 gold from that. Very good. I don't think we have to fix that. I mean, I will just because I can, but I'm pretty sure that once you leave combat, it gets cleared up, yeah. Alright, so that was the first one right here. Now, for all we know, we probably have to investigate more of those areas, and it's also very encourageable if you look around and get some gold and food this way. Now, you're probably thinking, in FTL, there is a downside when you stay around in one area to fight or search around a lot, because the fleet that's after you, they catch up to you, right? Well, here the same thing happens, but it's not showing us right now. Essentially, because we're still in tutorial mode, afterwards there'll be like a bit of a countdown over here, which the longer you stay in the area, the cult will send either a Kraken, a crew of Halifrons that I mentioned, or also just a couple of ships your way to keep you from, you know, farming an area too long. So we haven't seen it just yet. I think we see it on the next map over, because we're still like in tutorial mode essentially. So right now this is telling us that we have 1 of 4, because we already did 1 of them, but we need 3 more of those points of interest to be checked out, whether they're fights or not. We don't know. But we have to check those out before we could actually open that gate and leave. We did see another one up there that I skipped though, right? Yeah, so there's one over here. This is all we have to uncover right now. Which is fine. Essentially, what I like to do is just go through the entire map first, and then once I'm ready, we'll just hit up those points over here. So give me a second. Alrighty, so this right here is what I wanted to trigger, which should be the Kraken fight. You drop to your knees, it feels like a lightning storm inside of your skull, and you sense a massive ancient intelligence emerging from it. Scanning the horizon, you see an unnatural disturbance in the water. It is approaching fast. Now we should be able to note where this Kraken, there it is. So that's going to be the Kraken right there. We still have to find one more thing to unlock the gate. In case you're worried about this, the Kraken, you always have to deal with him first. Ooh, we got some goods over here. Oh, I can't pick up the goods when I'm being chased with the Kraken. You can't avert your eyes as the royal closes the distance. Whatever it is, it will be upon you in mere moments. Alrighty. Now, you can't fight the Kraken right now, you can't beat him, but you can indeed actually beat him as you progress with the game. But right now, you have to just escape him. So what the Kraken will normally do is try to tie you up. At least here, I'm not sure what he does later on in the game. But you can indeed beat him, but just not here at this point. But that looks so awesome right there, just a Kraken coming out of the sea to trap your ship from escaping. You ain't going anywhere, buddy. Alrighty, so let's go over here and deal with the Kraken. So all we gotta do right now is just basically cut off the tentacles so that we can escape. And all we're trying to achieve right now is, you guys go back to your positions maybe. Not that we could use any, we can't shoot him or anything like that at the moment. We want to fill this up, and then we're gonna escape. That's the only thing you do with the Kraken early on, so I'm gonna just show this off in the video before we wrap it up. So, at this point, we are technically done with the tutorial. I'm going to jump over to the next area, and if you guys want to see more of this in the channel, do let me know, and we'll come back and we'll continue this run. And do a little crack at the old abandoned ship. I'm actually really digging this, so if you guys want to see some more of this, I have absolutely no issue by doing that, because I love FTL, and this reminds me very much a lot of FTL. So, if you guys want to see some more on the channel, do let me know, and we shall do that. You gotta flee now. Now, the only downside of fleeing is that after you hit flee, the flee thing itself has to fill itself up, so you have to deal with this guy like twice. Maybe even one more time afterwards, if I'm right. Because he closes the gap on you fairly easy. But again, this is not really difficult, just basically teaching you about it. It feels like a little bit like too much, though. Like after like the second time, it's kind of like, alright, cool, well, we got it. I technically know what I have to do, but apparently not. Where's my homeboy over here? Hey, you fight that one. Yeah, well, I'm trying to flee. I mean, that's my plan right now at the moment. That's what I've been trying to do. So hopefully that fills up, and we're out of here. Okay. I'll see you later, Kraken. Apparently he stopped chasing you down. He's just too lazy at that point. You've wounded the creature and escaped somehow. You feel in your bones that the Kraken will need time to recuperate before it resumes the hunt. You should not dally. Alrighty, cool. Well, as I mentioned, I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see some more, do let me know. We'll come back, and we'll jump to the next area over. This is the end of the tutorial, basically. So, with the next one over, we'll check out the ports. We have to invest the story a little bit, and we're going to have to get some new recruits because of, you know, reasons that I alluded to earlier. So, I will catch you next time.